What's up? What's happening? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Animation Station, your number one station for anything and everything animation, including a sponge that lives in a pineapple under the sea. Welcome to SpongeBob on 4. Welcome to the thing. In this episode, Squidward ends up getting covered in cement and turned into a thing. SpongeBob and Patrick find it because they're the ones that forced him to leave his house in the first place. But they don't know it's him. So they try to take him in as a new pet and try to, treat him with a little bit of respect. But things start going to south real quick when he gets captured by animal control and sent to the zoo. And then it just goes on from there. This episode's pretty good, but it's one that I can't really point out much highlights for because it's more of an episode that's consistent rather than having standout parts. I do have two standout parts though. The first part, and this isn't really much more of a standout, it's more just a cool little visual gag, is when SpongeBob first comes across Squidward, or Smelly as he goes to call him by later, and this is literally what gives him his name. SpongeBob smells the reek because of everything that Smelly just went through, and his eyes water up and fill up in his eyeballs, and then he pulls on his tie to wash it out. You know, like when you pull on a string to flush a toilet. Like, it's an interesting little visual, and SpongeBob's really good at those kind of things. Like, those kind of visuals for something really simple. They try to do something unique with it, and I give them a lot of credit because it's actually pretty cool. And then the other part is the ending, minus the last few seconds, when it turns out that Squidward is with these things that look almost exactly like him, and it turns out that they are at a KelpieG concert, or it's where the concert was actually taking place when he was still watching it on his TV, which was a nice little touch, and it was nice to see him, meet his idol and vibe along with the music for a little bit. And then he gets crushed by the ending. Why is this episode not better? Patrick. It's Patrick. He pushes the line a bit here. But aside from that, this episode's a solid 7 out of 10. It's not the most memorable episode of the season, but it's good enough. It's okay. It's decent. It's solid. So, yeah, it's a pretty good episode, just not very memorable in the grand scheme of Season 4. And let's go on to an episode that's also not memorable and also is worse than this somehow. Let's go talk about Hocus Pocus. I mean, this episode's fine, but it's just unremarkable and pretty forgettable. In this episode, SpongeBob gets a magic kit, and he thinks that he turned Squidward into ice cream, so he tries his best to, protect him and keep anyone from eating him, but then it starts melting, and yeah, it just goes on and on from there. This episode's fine, it's okay, but I don't really have much to say about it, outside of two highlights. I love the popcorn bit in the beginning with SpongeBob making a huge pan of popcorn, and then instead of, taking the film off and just putting it in a bowl, instead he puts it on the pot, like he puts it on the stove, lets it pop up, and then he grabs a bowl, barrel rolls over Gary, gets in the chair, holds up the bowl, and it just shoots out his door. Like, it shoots out his little archway. Like, that's a pretty cool way to make popcorn, and it's a cool little visual. So I did like that. And I did like the ending where it turned out that SpongeBob did get some kind of real magic, because after the reveal that Squidward was not turned to ice cream and he just walked away, he decides to turn Patrick into mayonnaise because Patrick is hungry and wants to be mayonnaise. So SpongeBob just says, Patricia, mayonnaise-ka! And somehow actually turns him into mayo. Which I feel like is a callback to the ending of Hooky, when he gets turned into a can of tuna with a side of mayonnaise. That was a nice little callback. But outside of that, and the pretty decent Wizard of Oz parody that's in here, this episode's fine. Like, most of it's annoying, a lot of it drags, and a whole lot of nothing happens through most of it. But it has a few decent moments, but it's overall just unmemorable, forgettable, and... Wait, what episode were we talking about again? Yeah. Final verdict for Hocus Pocus. Thank you, Hocus Pocus. Final verdict for Hocus Pocus is a 5 out of 10. It's fine, it's average, it's okay, but forgettable. It's just a very forgettable episode that's not really worth talking about anymore. And that's all your content for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow for Driven to Tears and Rule of Dumb. And I'm gonna tell you why both of them are better than you remember. Peace.